Welcome to problem set 24. Our problems today will be from the topic enzymes. Before we get started, just a quick reminder that the worksheet to accompany this problem set video is available online through my website. And with that said, let's get started with number one. Number one, what is the active site of an enzyme? Remember that the active site is a small pocket in that globular protein where the reaction actually occurs. So it's right up here. The active site is a small pocket within the enzyme where the reaction occurs. Okay, number two, what is a substrate? Remember that in an enzyme catalyzed reaction, we refer to the reactant, more specifically as the substrate. So for number two, we want to write the substrate is the reactant in an enzyme catalyzed reaction. It's the reactant that the enzyme will act upon. And number three, how are vitamins sometimes involved with enzymes? So we saw in tutorial 24 that vitamins are often components of coenzymes. Remember that coenzymes are organic molecule cofactors. Cofactors that are organic molecules. They're more specifically called coenzymes. And vitamins are often a part of their structure, as they were in the examples we looked at for NAD and FAD. So it's right up here that vitamins are often components of coenzyme structures. And then I'll write here, for examples, C, NAD plus and FAD. Okay. All right, number four, I think it's got an A through F, so let's go ahead and erase here so we have a little more room. Okay, number four. The first step of alcohol metabolism requires alcohol dehydrogenase to convert ethanol into ethanal. So just kind of summarizing what we've said so far, we're converting ethanol into ethanal. This reaction will not take place without NAD plus turning into NADH. Answer the following questions regarding this reaction. Okay, so A, what is the enzyme in this reaction? Well, the best indicator of an enzyme is the ASE ending. Now, sometimes enzymes are named by their older names, which don't follow that rule, but in this case, you can see that alcohol dehydrogenase does end in the ASE ending. Furthermore, it's telling you a little something about the substrate that it's going to act upon. It's going to act upon an alcohol, in this case ethanol. So the answer to A is alcohol dehydrogenase. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write it above the arrow here. Alcohol dehydrogenase. This reaction requires that enzyme. B, what is the substrate? Remember that the substrate is just a fancy way of asking you what the reactant is. The reactant is ethanol. Very careful, OL ending, not the AL ending, not the aldehyde. All right, C, what is the product? So what is produced in this reaction? That would be the aldehyde ethanal. Ethanal. So be very distinct with your AL ending versus your OL ending here. Okay. D, what is the coenzyme? Okay. So the coenzyme, it says in the problem that this reaction will not take place without NAD plus turning into NADH. NAD plus is your coenzyme. It's not the enzyme, but it's something that is required for the enzyme to function and catalyze this reaction properly. So we're going to write that as a coupled reaction here. NAD plus turning into NADH, which also has an H plus. I should have written in the problem there. So what is our coenzyme? Our coenzyme is the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, or just NAD plus. E, is the coenzyme oxidized or reduced in this reaction? So we see that it's going from NAD plus to NADH, H plus. So it's going from the oxidized to the reduced form. It's going to gain 2 hydrogen and 2 electrons. It's going to be reduced in this reaction. So for E, write reduced. And F, what class of enzyme does the enzyme in this reaction belong to? Okay, so it's catalyzing the oxidation of ethanol into ethanal, which requires the coenzyme NAD to get reduced, because remember, oxidation and reduction have to occur together. So the substrate is being oxidized, the coenzyme is being reduced. This enzyme is an oxidoreductase enzyme, an enzyme that catalyzes an oxidation or a reduction of a substrate. And the term dehydrogenase might have given that away as well, because remember we said in tutorial 24 that subcategories of oxidoreductase enzymes include oxidase enzymes, reductase enzymes, and dehydrogenase enzymes. So either one of those things might have given that away. All right, so this will conclude our very short problem set for 24 on enzymes. I hope that you will consider tuning into our tutorial number 25. Thank you very much.